Lady as keeps the waxworks has money, and does keep it in a tin box when she goes to bed, and doesn't lock her door for fear of fire. It seems a easy thing, quite a providence I should call it, but then I've been religiously brought up.' 'You see, Isaac,' said his friend, growing more eager and drawing himself closer to the old man, while he signed to the gipsy not to come between them. 'You see, Isaac, strangers are going in and out every hour of the day. Nothing would be more likely than for one of these strangers to get under the good lady's bed, or lock himself in the cupboard. Suspicion would be very wide, and would fall a long way from the mark, no doubt. I'd give him his revenge to the last farthing he brought, whatever the amount was.' 'But could you?' urged Isaac List. 'Is your bank strong enough?' 'Strong enough!' answered the other, with assumed disdain. 'Here, you, sir, give me that box out of the straw.' This was addressed to the gipsy, who crawled into the low tent on all fours, and after some rummaging and rustling returned with a cash box, which the man who had spoken opened with a key he wore about his person. 'Do you see this?' he said, gathering up the money in his hand and letting it drop back into the box between his fingers like water. 'Do you hear it? Do you know the sound of gold? There, put it back, and don't talk about banks again, Isaac, till you've got one of your own.' Isaac List, with great apparent humility, protested that he had never doubted the credit of a gentleman so notorious for his honourable dealing as Mr Jowl, and that he had hinted at the production of the box, not for the satisfaction of his doubts, for he could have none, but with a view to being regaled with the sight of so much wealth, which, though it might be deemed by some but an unsubstantial and visionary pleasure, was to one in his circumstances a source of extreme delight, only to be surpassed by its safe depository in his own personal pockets. Although Mr List and Mr Jowl addressed themselves to each other, it was remarkable that they both looked narrowly at the old man, who, with his eyes fixed upon the fire, sat brooding over it, yet listening eagerly, as it seemed from a certain involuntary motion of the head or twitching of the face from time to time, to all they said. 'My advice,' said Jowl, lying down again with a careless air, 'is plain. I have given it, in fact. I act as a friend. Why should I help a man to the means perhaps of winning all I have, unless I consider him my friend? It's foolish, I dare say, to be so thoughtful of the welfare of other people, but that's my constitution, and I can't help it, so don't blame me, Isaac List.' 'I blame you?' returned the person addressed. 'Not for the world, Mr Jowl. I wish I could afford to be as liberal as you, and, as you say, he might pay it back if he won, and if he lost.' 'You're not to take that into consideration at all,' said Jowl. 'I suppose he did, and nothing's less likely from all I know of chances. Why, it's better to lose other people's money than one's own, I hope.' 'Ah!' cried Isaac List rapturously. 'The pleasures of winning, the delight of picking up the money, the bright shining yellow boys, and sweeping them into one's pocket, the deliciousness of having a triumph at last, and thinking that one didn't stop short and turn back, but went half-way to meet it, but you're not going, old gentleman?'
'I'll do it,' said the old man, who had risen and taken 2 or 3 hurried steps away, and now returned as hurriedly. 'I'll have it. Every penny.'
'Why, that's brave!' cried Isaac, jumping up and slapping him on the shoulder. 'And I respect you for having so much young blood left. Oh, Joe Jowls, I'm sorry he advised you now. We've got the laugh against him.'
'He gives me my revenge, mind,' said the old man, pointing to him eagerly with his shrivelled hand. 'Mind, he stakes coin against coin, down to the last one in the box, be there many or few. Remember that.'
'I'm witness,' returned Isaac. 'I'll see fair between you.'
'I've passed me word,' said Jowl, with feigned reluctance, 'and I'll keep it. When does this match come off? I wish it was over. To-night?'
'I must have the money first,' said the old man, 'and that I'll have to-morrow.'
'Why not to-night?'
urged Jowl. 'It's late now, and I should be flushed and flurried,' said the old man. 'It must be softly done. No, to-morrow night.'
'Then to-morrow be it,' said Jowl. 'A drop of comfort here? Luck to the best man. Fill.'
The gipsy produced 3 tin cups, and filled them to the brim with brandy. The old man turned aside and muttered to himself before he drank. Her own name struck upon the listener's ear, coupled with some wish so fervent that he seemed to breathe it in an agony of supplication.
'God be merciful to us,' cried the child within herself, 'and help us in this trying hour. What shall I do to save him?'
The remainder of their conversation was carried on in a lower tone of voice, and was sufficiently concise, relating merely to the execution of the project, and the best precautions for diverting suspicion. The old man then shook hands with his tempters, and withdrew. They watched his bowed and stooping figure as it retreated slowly, and when he turned his head to look back, which he often did, waved their hands or shouted some brief encouragement. It was not until they had seen him gradually diminish into a mere speck upon the distant road, that they turned to each other and ventured to laugh out loud.
'So,'
said Jowl, warming his hands at the fire,
'it's done at last. He wanted more persuading than I expected. It's 3 weeks ago since we first put this in his head. What'll he bring, do you think?'
'Whatever he brings, it's halved between us,' returned Isaac List.
The other man nodded.
'We must make quick work of it,' he said, 'and then cut his acquaintance, or we may be suspected. Sharp's the word.'
List and the gipsy acquiesced. When they had all 3 amused themselves a little with their victim's infatuation, they dismissed the subject as one which had been sufficiently discussed, and began to talk in a jargon which the child did not understand. As their discourse appeared to relate to matters in which they were warmly interested, however, she deemed it the best time for escaping unobserved, and crept away with slow and cautious steps, keeping in the shadow of the hedges or forcing a path through them or the dry ditches, until she could emerge upon the road at a point beyond their range of vision. Then she fled homeward as quickly as she could, torn and bleeding from the wounds of thorns and briars, but more lacerated in mind, and threw herself upon her bed, distracted. The first idea that flashed upon her mind was flight, instant flight, dragging him from that place, and rather dying of want upon the roadside than ever exposing him again to such terrible temptations. Then she remembered that the crime was not to be committed until next night, and there was the intermediate time for thinking and resolving what to do. Then she was distracted with a horrible fear that he might be committing it that moment, with a dread of hearing shrieks and cries piercing the silence of the night, with fearful thoughts of what he might be tempted and led on to do if he were detected in the act and had but a woman to struggle with. It was impossible to bear such torture. She stole to the room where the money was, opened the door, and looked in. God be praised, he was not there, and she was sleeping soundly. She went back to her own room, and tried to prepare herself for bed. But who could sleep? Sleep! Who could lie passively down, distracted by such terrors? They came upon her more and more strongly yet. Half undressed, and with her hair in wild disorder, she flew to the old man's bedside, clasped him by the wrist, and roused him from his sleep. What's this?' he cried, starting up in bed and fixing his eyes upon her spectral face.
'I have had a dreadful dream,'
said the child, with an energy that nothing but such terrors could have inspired.
'A dreadful, horrible dream. I have had it once before. It is a dream of grey-haired men like you, in darkened rooms by night, robbing sleepers of their gold. Up, up!'
The old man shook in every joint, and folded his hands like one who prays.
'Not to me,' said the child. 'Not to me. To Heaven, to save us from such deeds. This dream is too real. I cannot sleep. I cannot stay here. I cannot leave you alone under the roof of where such dreams come. Up! We must fly.
He looked